And welcome to another edition of Judgment Day. Matt Reba reporting for duty, along with jury members Raina Butel and Logan Molnar. And boy, get your gavels ready. We got some juicy stuff today. So as we've been doing, we've been looking at the Am I the Asshole Reddit and basically deciding, are they the asshole? Are they not the asshole? Is everyone assholery or no assholes in sight? So let's start with this one. Am I the asshole for refusing to let my brother-in-law see my son after causing me to miss his birth? Uh-oh.
Whoa. Family drama. I'm ready.
How do we feel about if I guess it's different for me, but if I was with a woman who was giving birth, I don't know if I'd want to be in there. I feel like it's so intense. I don't know. That's a very tough situation.
Yeah, I don't even know if I want, I know a lot of people bring their moms into the delivery room. I don't think I'd want that, you know?
Mm-mm.
I feel like the less people, because there's already so many doctors and
Yeah.
nurses and sometimes med students who are seeing everything. And yeah, it just feels
Yeah.
you know, there's a lot of stuff going on
Mm-hmm.
already.
So
Mm-hmm.
I was in the delivery room when my youngest, or not youngest anymore, but I was about, was it 10 years old? And when my brother was born,
Oh,
and my mom
wow.
wanted me to be in the room for some reason. I don't know why, but there's no waiting area for friends and family that are in there. It's
Mm-hmm.
very chaotic and really fast. So I just don't know what the spectator thing, the spectator
Mm-hmm.
appeal is for people when
Mm.
it's, I don't know. If it was up to me and I could have rewound time, I would not have been in there, but it was at my mom's request. So um
Yeah.
ooh,
Yeah.
ooh.
So here's the story. I'm gonna speak, and I feel like this might be easier from now on. I'm just gonna speak as if I'm the author. Because I sometimes will sub out I's with me's and you's. I feel like the tense, an English teacher would hate the way I'm what's the tense? You know how the present tense, past tense? I don't want to tense it up. So here we go.
First person, third person.
Yeah, I
Is
feel like
that
I keep switching between person. It's a mess. Okay.
it?
I, male 30s, got few close friends from college that I hang out with, including my brother-in-law, my sister's husband, Austin. My wife and I are expecting our first baby, and because this was our first, we struggled with understanding things like whether my wife was going to go into labor, pain and soreness, blah, blah, blah. Therefore, I've limited my time with the guys, especially in the evening, nighttime. I've skipped meetings with them to stay home by my wife's side, ready for emergencies. My friends are upset they haven't seen much of me in a while. I explained my situation, but they gave me crap about it every time, especially Austin, who kept pressuring me into going for a few beers, saying he was in my shoes twice and has experience. He says that certain signs mean that my wife should soon be in labor and just to relax about it. Okay, who's that kind of friend that's like, your pregnant wife doesn't need you, come drink and play, Pong with us?
Yeah. And not just friend, it's family. That's a lot.
I
I
mean,
don't
but on
know.
top of that, your own sister, you're like, I know she's pregnant, but you should hang out with us. Leave her be. That's so disrespectful to me. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not on board with that.
Not on board. The train is left. I am still at the station. I'm not on board. So one night, I caved into going to the brother-in-law Austin's farm. Since his birthday was days prior, I missed it because my wife got sick. He wasn't happy and whined about it. Why are you a 30-year-old man whining about this?
It's your birthday, dude. Get over it.
This is the kind of person wants to go to the tapas restaurant and order a bunch of small things that no one wants. That's the kind of person I think Austin is. Anywho, my wife was with the in-laws. Oh, here we go. So my wife was with my in-laws and I wanted to call her. So he's at the farm at Austin's place, but I couldn't find my phone. I put it on the counter, but wasn't there. I borrowed one of their phones after an hour or so to search to call my wife, and her sister picked up asking where I was. I was in dismay when she said she was at the hospital with my wife because my wife's water broke and she went into labor. I couldn't explain. I drove to the hospital ASAP, but was met with my father-in-law berating me for ignoring his text and 18 missed calls. I wasn't allowed into the living room because my wife screamed at me to get out. I felt awful. I waited outside while my in-laws berated me for my neglect, even when I said I lost my phone. A friend said that Austin hid my phone after seeing father-in-law's text to get back at me for missing his birthday. I blew up at my brother-in-law, Austin. I called him an SOB for doing this. He said the friend was a liar and he didn't see any text or calls and he hit it as a joke to scare me a bit. I left after this and I haven't seen my brother-in-law in days. The guys got involved begging me to make things right with Austin, who didn't know. Otherwise, he would have told me, so it was a misunderstanding. And my wife bears the blame for not letting me into the room, but can I blame her? I refused to see my brother-in-law. My sister said I should let Uncle Austin see their little boy because he's longing to meet him, his family, and even cried when I said I was being unfair. But no, I won't let him meet my son after this. The friend said that Austin, the brother-in-law, bragged about it later when Chris decided to tell me because he thought it was wrong that I was getting blamed by my in-laws. So that's where we're at. And then it says, none of my family said anything about not allowing Austin to see my son except my sister and my friends. The friend is one of the guys who was actually there that night. He and Austin aren't very close. Austin thinks that the friend hates him for no reason, doesn't like having him around. In my opinion, this friend's a decent guy, which is probably why he came forward and said it. 3 of my in-laws are upset with me as well as my wife and said that even though Austin was at fault, I too was for being reckless and irresponsible. Oh, where do we begin? There's a lot of characters.
So much happening.
This is like a Macbeth production right now. Like, ooh.
Oh boy.
Okay, so just making sure I have it right. You go out with friends and the friend hides the phone, or the in-law?
The brother-in-law hid the phone. So he left the wifey at home, went to see the brother-in-law at the farm, which is such a weird way, like going to the farm. I don't love that.
No.
And then the brother-in-law hid it. According to the brother-in-law, he didn't realize that the texts were about like giving birth. But like, here's my thing. If I pick up someone's phone and it has like 5 missed calls, even like 3 missed calls, I'd say something. I'd be like, Raina, your boyfriend called 3 times. It must be important. He must be wanting some loving or some sugar. I don't know. Who sees that on the phone and is like, oh, I'm just gonna hide it. Like he needs to get away from that wife of his, that controlling wife with her pregnancy. Is like, ugh.
Yeah, especially he knows that she's pregnant, like very, very pregnant. And he's just like, oh, this would be funny. Oh boy.
Either he's trying to sabotage this birth, or he's like really angry at her specifically, even though they would be brother and sister. I have no idea why anybody would try so hard to mess with someone in the birth of their child in this way. And like, I don't, very like weird. This is strange. This is a really strange one, actually.
Yeah, I don't know.
So repeat the question again. Let's start at the question.
So the asshole part, I think we're pretty clear that like this brother-in-law Austin who hid the phone, definitely asshole. But the question he's wondering is, he doesn't want the brother-in-law to see the kid. He's like, I don't want you around me. I don't want you around my kid right now. And so the sister, aka mom, who went in birth, and then the in-laws were like, well, that's just not fair, and it's both of your fault, and blah blah blah. So he's basically, that's the real, I guess, meat. Because like, let's be honest, hiding the phone in general, I think, is a D move, because even if there wasn't an emergency, I mean, like, what are we in 5th grade?
Yeah.
And like, if one of you came over to my house and I'm like, oh, I haven't seen you in a long time, let's just hang out. Like, I don't know. I just feel like I would be more focused on chatting and like, oh, let's watch Netflix. I wouldn't be focused on, ooh, let me hide your phone so you can be, doesn't that ruin the party? Leave. Doesn't that like ruin the party to be like, oh my God, I lost my phone and then I'm freaking out? Like, I don't know. I feel like
he was looking for it for an hour. Like, at that point, come on. Like, the jig is up. Like, give it back and just knock it off.
It's not even fun to trick someone for that length of time either. Like, it's not fun to run a gag for 60 minutes. Usually it's 5, or let me give you a hint so you find it quicker.
Yeah, that's bad comedy. And
I was gonna say, I mean, a good prank is when we're all laughing. I don't think we were all laughing at this. I think the brother was pissed. I think some of the friends were like, oh, that's not good. You know what I mean? So that's my concern. In terms of the actual meat of the problem, I think the in-laws and the sister got to get their crap together. This was a big big disrespect on this brother-in-law's part. He hid the phone. There could have been there was obviously an emergency situation of sorts because her water broke, but like there could have been something even major, like maybe she needed a C-section, or there was something where like he needed input in a medical decision regarding his wife and the baby. And for them to be so pissed, he didn't have the phone. He did not have the phone. Why did he not have the phone? Because the brother-in-law. Had he had the phone, he would have saw this. So it's not a mutual. This isn't like two boys getting up to shenanigans. This is a one-way street for me. So that's why the brother-in-law is one thing, but that family's sticking up for the brother-in-law. No, as far as I can see, you won't see the kid for a few weeks, few months, whatever it is. No, you're in timeout. That's how I see it.
Absolutely.
And it's not even like this was at the party. He was just stressing about his pregnant wife, and he was like, you know what? I'm going to try to make him feel better and just like, put the phone away so he doesn't think about it. This has been an issue that the brother-in-law has been like, oh, ignore it anyways for months and months, Like he's like, oh, I can't hang out because I'm with my wife and we need to deal with this stuff and I can't spend nights with you guys. So obviously this has been like a building thing for the brother-in-law. It wasn't just a quick, oh, I'm just going to do this because it's funny decision. It was kind of, this thing in the works. Mm-hmm. And so I definitely think that the new dad is like right to think, oh, I don't want my kid around this guy right now. Mm-hmm. He obviously didn't really care leading up. So right now it's just not a good time.
Mm-hmm.
But based on like past behavior now, this brother-in-law is going to be like, oh, your kid's only 6 months old. Just leave him at home for a little bit. Oh, he's only a year old. Yeah. It doesn't matter. These aren't the most important years of his life and development. Just come to the farm. Come hang out. It's not a big deal.
Come to the farm. Oh my God.
So clearly this uncle has like no regard for the child or no respect for the father or the sister, because this is also his sister who is, it's her baby too. So I don't see how his parents could be defending that behavior when it's like, hey honey, like, yeah, your husband sucks, but your brother is kind of being a jerk to you by getting your husband away from you. Like, who are these parents and how are they just so comfortable letting their son get the pass? I just don't get it.
It's also crazy.
Yeah.
Because the brother is a dad too. Didn't it say that he's done this a couple of times? They have kids. So what kind of dad is he? Like,
oh, he's the kind of dad that in 15 years will not be getting calls from his kids. Let me tell you, that's the kind. They're going to move out and ship him out. I'm telling you right now, because he sounds checked out. He sounds immature. He sounds toxic as hell. And then I've said this about the parents. Nothing irks me more than people saying, oh, but it's just family. It's just family. Let people be rude and toxic and terrible human beings because they're family. No. I'm so sick and tired of people. Well, he didn't mean it, and it was an accident. And no, we're not going to sugarcoat what happened. He purposely hid the phone. Was there clearly should have known better. Knew that the wife could give birth at any second. And to be fair to the husband, I got to give him a little slack. I feel like if your wife's about to burst, why are you at the farm? Stay home. Stay home from the farm. No farm
Don't
for
go
you.
to the farm.
Your wife is literally about to like pop as a balloon and you're like, I'm just going to head to the farm. No, stay home. Watch Netflix. There's so many shows right now. Sex Education season 3, Lucifer season 6. I mean, I could name that Squid Game that everyone's talking about. That's like a Korean show. Watch TV and stay home. Oh my God. I'm angry at everybody, but are we ready to
I just started Sex Education, the first season.
Oh my God.
I just watched like one episode and I'm like, this is good. I'm excited.
I do not want to derail, but it is phenomenal. It is arguably the best like teen show I think ever, because
so excited.
some of those teen shows like Riverdale are just so bad. And this one is very good.
I also love Riverdale. So okay,
Logan,
but
you gotta leave. You gotta leave right now, Logan.
This isn't casting judgment on me. We're casting judgment on this guy. So
all right. Well, speaking of casting judgment, let's do it. Logan, where do you stand? Remember, the issue at hand is should the brother-in-law be able to see the kid? Is really that's the issue.
So I I would say not the asshole. I think that he gets a choice of who sees his new baby. And I don't think that everybody needs to see the kid immediately, especially if someone has shown that they don't really care about the new baby. So I'm not sure if this is like still a baby or if it's been a couple of months, but I say do whatever you think is best for your new family, and it doesn't really matter what like in-laws are saying. If they're saying, hey, it's family, like let them see it. No, it just, he kind of caused a big series of issues that you didn't even get to see the birth of your kid, which really sucks. So yeah, I say not the asshole. The brother is definitely the asshole.
Yeah. Raina, what do you think?
Not the asshole for sure. Nobody wants to hang out with somebody who's gonna get them in trouble for anything. But I would say slight butthead for just like he knew like she was due. But who can blame somebody like after all this like constant come hang out with me, come to the farm, like he's like, okay, this one time what's it gonna hurt? Every other 99 times he begged me to go to the farm. But slight butthead vibes, but definitely not the asshole for denying this troublesome father-in-law or brother-in-law. What do we got, Matt?
I gotta go not the asshole. I don't love the fact that, like you said, he's heading to the farm and wifey's due. Don't love that. I think that part was a little off the mark.
See, I'm thinking maybe the wife was like, just go, like, you know, for a little bit and it'll be fine, and maybe he'll shut up. And then XYZ happen, you know.
And if that happened, yes, less judgment there.
I'd like to believe that happened.
Yeah. But I gotta go not the asshole. This guy caused you to be late. Everyone's yelling at you. It really, in a way, is kind of out of this guy's control. Yeah, this brother-in-law is like the paradigm of boys will be boys, and just like the paradigm, it needs to go, honey. It has to go right out the door. So what did the thread say? Well, they agreed not the asshole was the number one vote. Top comment, not the asshole. He deliberately hid your phone so you missed your child's birth. That is the type of person you don't want around your child. Ooh, spicy. By the way, this original poster commented saying, he's done similar things in the past, but not to me though. So wait, so is he hiding everyone's phones while their wives are pregnant? Like what? I guess I'm mad and not ready, but he claims I'm being too hard on him for just wanting to spend time with me and the guys. No. You can spend time with me and the guys, but you can do that with your phones. Like that wasn't the issue. The second highest comment actually says, everyone sucks here except your wife. Others are letting you off the hook, but you two are an asshole. You're a 30-year-old in your 30s male, and you allowed peer pressure to force you to hang out at the farm. Yes, he stole your phone, but that makes him the biggest asshole for deliberately pulling his shit. But you as a grown man should be keeping better tabs on your stuff. And you as an adult need to learn to put your foot down. But I guess it's a learning experience for you. Woo! So,
wow.
I mean, some points were made, I think, a little bit. But, well, we have decreed judgment. And without further ado, thanks for listening to another edition of Judgment Day. Peace out.